Hello again, everybody. This is information from Mrs. Estes' class for U.S. History Explorers to War of 1812. In case you missed it, this is what we worked on Tuesday, March 31st, online together. And first of all, we wanted to go through and make sure we're still using our interactive notebook as best we can. The last class, the first time we did online, which didn't work out very well, I also posted a video of how to figure out where the information goes for the branches of government, which would be the executive, the legislative, and judicial branches that run our entire country. And we have different ones for every state. So this is information that we worked on last time. We checked it out together just to review. Then we turned into our next assignment that was about the American symbols. So I just recorded a video and I'll post it for you that talked about a really cool story called Blue Sky, White Stars. And I read this to the class that talked about different things that represent America as symbolic symbols or patriotic things that represent us as American people. So one thing that I thought, maybe you've already heard of American symbols when you're learning about American history. Something I thought maybe you didn't know a lot about was the Great Seal of the United States. So we turned that into a lesson today, and we talked a little bit about the meaning behind it, why people chose those things to represent us as a country, as a people, and then we even made our own seal. So I'll take you around to look at what I'm looking at. So here we have my notebook here. I have the highlighted things of what we worked on together in class. We colored out our seal and we've labeled all the parts here. We also made our own seal, and I'll get to explaining what in the world's going on with my picture there. So let me show this to you. So first of all, when you got the packet that I gave you, those papers, we just ripped this one out and we checked it out together. So we read the things information about Great Seal of the United States. Every country has something that represents them, not just their flag, but some kind of emblem or animal or seal. And at the time, when we're thinking of the back into the Revolutionary War and the start of American country itself, Britain was the group that we were with, right? Their representative thing was always a lion. A lion was a thing that represented England. And they also had their flag and, all of their colonies, all of that too. So, and they still have a lion. That's something that really represents England. So when we thought of an animal that might represent America, there was a lot of debate, and it was funny. We got into this in class that Benjamin Franklin actually proposed having a turkey be our national animal, our national bird. And it was argued against back and forth. Yes, turkeys are very, they have a strong call and they're very boisterous animals, but it's funny because turkeys they tend to be kind of scavenger animals too. So I think more of the leaders thought we want more of a majestic kind of bird if we're gonna go with a bird. So ended up, as you know, the bald eagle. So it's not bald, it just has different colored feathers on its body, so it looks different color. This is a basic picture of a bald eagle here. Very majestic, right? And of course we have the red, white, and blue, our flag that represents us as well. So let me walk you through our symbol for the Great Seal of the United States. Okay, so in the part here we read together, the picture below shows the Great Seal of the United States of America. It pictures a bald eagle with an olive branch in one talon, the hand or foot there. Then we have arrows in the other talon. And it gives a reasoning of why it's an olive branch, why they're talons. And you'll notice the same number popping up all over this picture. There's 13 stars. There's 13 leaves in the olive branch. There's 13 olives or berries here in the olive branch. There's 13 arrows here. There's 13 red and white stripes here. And someone even counted the feathers somewhere, and someone said there were 13. I don't know, I didn't count. But if you think about it, 13 being very significant because there was 13 original colonies that became the 13 United States of America when they first came together. So that number is significant, and it shows up a lot in the Great Seal if you didn't know. So then it goes on to explain the olive branch. Why is it an olive branch? And it says the olive branch is a symbol of peace, and that it shows our country always wants to be peaceful. Of course, we don't want to fight. We're a country that loves to enjoy the good things in life, of course, all America, things like that. But the arrows here are a symbol of war, and it shows that our country is willing to fight to protect our freedoms if we need to. So it's like war and peace kind of thing. We want to do good, but we want to protect our rights. So it's a balance here, war and peace. Then we have the shield here, or the crest that you might call it. There's the crest, and then we have the stars above, of obviously 13. And this Latin phrase right here in another language, Latin, that we don't usually speak anymore, but it's a Latin phrase that says e pluribus unum. You might see this phrase on other symbols like our money, our currency. This symbol is actually on the back of some of our coins as well. Take a look at the back of an old quarter if you can find one. And then e pluribus unum. So this actually means, and we wrote this out of many, one. So that's the motto of our country. So not only do we have our national bird, we have a symbol of war and peace. We have the 13 represented all over the place, red, white, and blue. And we have our motto. A motto is like something that is a catchphrase for our country. So if you're going to think of America, this is what you should think about. Out of many, one. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see what we've written here. I just made a diagram that points to the different parts and what they mean. Olive branch, peace sign, meaning peace, that there's 13 leaves and 13 olives. There's 13 stripes, representing the 13 colonies as well. And we talked a little bit about the color, that the red means for sacrifice, the blood that was shed in order to create our country and to keep our freedoms. White being liberty and freedom, things like that. Blue in that same category as well. So we have here 13 arrows, ready to fight. The bald eagle, our national bird. Then our motto, out of many, one. That's what e pluribus unum means. And there's 13 stars there. So that's basically the idea of our national symbol here and what it means and why we need to know it. It's something that I thought would be cool to understand because it not only tells you about one symbol, but a lot of things about American culture in general. So this was created a really long time ago, and I thought it would be kind of interesting if you thought about America right now, even in your own community, if you had to draw a seal or a representation of your community right now to show anyone else what you are all about, what would it look like? Mine definitely didn't look this good. We only had a few minutes in class to do it together, but we did the best we could. So the second picture, please don't judge it, it's really silly. I drew an animal to represent us, and I drew a family. I drew them in a home. I drew my flag because it never changed. And I drew a picture of washing hands. It's very important in our community right now. And I drew a dog. I thought a dog would be a good representation because it's an animal that likes to stay at home. They like to, protect the family sometimes. And I like dogs, so it was just funny. It kind of looks like a rabbit. Please no judgment. It's just my first time drawing it on the seal of the United States of America. Anyway. The project here was not homework, but just something for fun, and if you'd like to share with me, I'd love to see it, but no pressure. This was, to the right you see the actual seal of the United States, and imagine that Congress has asked you to design a new national seal to represent America. Draw a sketch of your new seal in the space below. And then it had lines on the bottom, we cut them off. It's just where you could explain to me or write what the parts would mean, or you could just talk about it in class. We just discussed it together. So, in a nutshell, that's what we went over in class today. The main thing we wanted to remember about what was represented with the United States and the different symbols was that out of many, one, and there's a lot of things that can represent us, whether we choose to have them represent us or not. That's something to remember us by with Americans. So Again, I put this inside of my notebook. I just glued it the best I could. And as of now, we're on spring break. I hope you have a wonderful week, 2 weeks off, and continue to stay safe. And I miss you, everyone, and I hope they're all doing well. If you have any problems or questions, let me know. I hope you have a good break. Have a good one. Bye-bye.